I want you to see some headlines in the mass media that create particularly bad perceptions of Islam. These types of headlines are one of the main causes of the bias, prejudices, and discrimination which exists against Muslims in the world today. So I wanted to make a video about 5 of the biggest misconceptions about Islam. And whilst I hope non-Muslims will find this video informative, let me tell you, even a lot of Muslims will learn something from this. So watch on. Now, all of the 5 issues that I'm going to be describing today warrant a lot of conversation and discussion, but I'm only going to touch on them today, and I will be doing more detailed videos on each one of these misconceptions in future. Let me know through the comment section what you think about these 5 issues, and if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to our YouTube channel to see our weekly videos. Okay, misconception number 1, and this is that Muslims have their own God called Allah. No, Muslims do not have their own God. There are many faiths which refer to one creator of this universe and everything that's within it. In different languages, this entity may be called different things. In English, we may refer to it as God. In Hebrew, you may refer to it as Yahweh. Sikhs may call this entity Waheguru, and in Arabic, it's called Allah. You see, in Arabic, Allah is made up of 2 words which have been joined together. There is al, which means the, signifying the singular nature of this entity, and ilah, which means God or Lord, the creator of everything. And put together, in Arabic, we say Allah. So you see, Muslims believe in the same God as do the Christians, as the Jews, and people of many other faiths. Misconception number 2 is that the Muslims' prophet was Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. This is also false. Muslims can only be Muslims if they believe in all of the prophets that have revealed God's messages to mankind. Let me tell you 2 things. Firstly, in the Qur'an, Allah has made it very clear what the 5 key pillars are that make up the basic belief of a Muslim. And one of those is the belief in all of his prophets. You see, there have been many hundreds of prophets which came before Prophet Muhammad, and Muslims believe in all of them. And did you know that in the Qur'an, the names of 25 prophets have been mentioned? Look at all of these different prophets which have been mentioned in the Qur'an, which includes Jesus and Moses and many others, which Muslims have to believe in. Peace be upon all of them. And secondly, Allah instructs Muslims through the Qur'an not to differentiate between any of the prophets. So all of the prophets have to be held in the same equal regard. Did you know, in fact, that the prophet which has been mentioned the most by a mile in the Qur'an is Prophet Moses? Misconception number 3 is that the Qur'an is a book of rituals for Muslims. I'm going to have to break this one down into 2. Firstly, Islam is not about rituals. Yes, there are certain customs and rituals which have come down from Muslims' forefathers, but many of them are not actually part of Islam. But a lot of people have confused these rituals with Islam. That is for another video. You see, Islam is described in the Qur'an as a deen. The word deen is an Arabic word which means way of life. Islam is a complete way of life which governs how we address all of our issues and all of our affairs on a day-to-day basis. This includes everything from family life to relationships with your parents and children, business and commerce and trade rules, financial affairs, wealth management, inheritance, politics, scientific discovery, voyage, and all the way to space exploration. So this point that Islam is a set of rituals is a big misconception. And this misconception is also held by many Muslims. Now, the second point that the Qur'an is for Muslims is incorrect. You see, the Qur'an was revealed to guide all of mankind. In the Qur'an, Allah uses the word nas, which is an Arabic word meaning mankind, people. And this has been mentioned 241 times in the Qur'an. In fact, Allah directly addresses all of mankind in the Qur'an 21 times to emphasize that the Qur'an is for all of mankind. So if you hear people saying the Muslims book Qur'an, then please note that it is not the Muslim book. It is a book for mankind. I will be doing a separate video specifically aimed at Muslims too, who believe that the Qur'an is only for them as Muslims. And I will explain how this is one of the gravest injustices we have done to the revelations of Allah by limiting the Qur'an to Muslims only. Misconception number 4 is that Islam was spread by the sword through jihad. Admit it, you've been brought up to believe that jihad means war, bloodshed, force, and that this is how Islam was spread through the world. This is not true. You see, in Islam, there are 3 key principles which we have to abide by. Number 1, that there is no compulsion in belief. Nobody is forced to believe or act. The second principle is that the killing of one innocent person is such an immense crime that the killing of that one person is considered the same as killing of all of mankind, everybody on this earth. Let's just consider the magnitude of that principle in Islam. And as far as spreading the message of the Quran and the spreading of Islam is concerned, the responsibility of Muslims is only to communicate the message. It is then up to the other individual, it is left to their free will as to whether they accept that message and follow the directions, instructions and guidance of the Islamic system. You see, jihad, the Arabic word, is a derivative of the word jihad, which means to make efforts, to endeavor to do something, to strive to do something, to struggle to do something. And in this case, jihad, when it comes to Islam, means to make efforts to implement a way of life, of peace, of social justice, of equality, of fairness, where every human is treated with respect, where there is no discrimination, a struggle to control our own selfish desires and the negative impulses to do bad. It's a struggle to stray on the right path. That is jihad. Misconception number 5 is that Islam oppresses women. This is also not true. How can Islam oppress women where there is no compulsion in this deen, in this way of life? That does not make sense. There is no logic in that. How can Islam be about oppressing women when it is about equality, fairness, and respect for all, regardless of gender, race, creed? And more specifically, the Qur'an requires men and women to work together and be allies of each other in equal measure in all aspects of social and political matters. There is no oppression of any kind in women in Islam. Where we do see oppression of women in Muslim-dominated countries, that is a matter of culture in those countries and political issues. It is not an Islamic issue. But guys, let's get to the real point. When people think about women and Islam, they think about the veil, the hijab. So let me just touch on this a little bit as well. And it's a really big topic, but I want to clear up the basic main misconception, which is about the dress code. The Quran sets out the basic principles of the dress code, which is that this code should be decent, simple, not obscene, and it should protect and guard your chastity. And this applies to men as well as women. In addition to this, for women specifically, Islam does require that women do not put their beauty on display and that they cover their chests when they're not with their closest relatives. The whole concept is to avoid creating a society where there is an opportunity for men to look at women with evil intentions, to make sure that men treat women with equal respect. How can that be a bad thing? It is to avoid this type of society. This is the very purpose of the dress code of Islam. How have we got to a situation in this world where when a Muslim woman chooses to dress in this modest way to protect her modesty, to maintain a respectful image, that this is portrayed in such a negative way? Let me ask you, why is it when a nun chooses to dress in this way, it is considered pious, and when a Muslim woman chooses to dress in this way, she is considered oppressed, and she can be racially abused when she's out performing her daily tasks? I hope this video has opened your eyes to some of the big misconceptions about Islam. Did any of these facts which I just presented surprise you? Did you know about these facts? Let me know in the comment section. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to our YouTube channel to see our weekly videos about the Qur'an and Islam. Please spread the truth. Share this video. Thanks for watching. Assalamu alaikum.
تبارك اسم ربك ذي الجلال والإكرام